They say small towns are their stories, rooted in history and unique experiences, and Round Hill is no exception. Stories shaped by generations of families, neighbors, businesses, and of course, small town life, framed by the notables who made life here better. And just maybe the characters still laughing at the diner. So many stories are worth telling, but far more than we could ever fit into this brief look back. So amidst the memories and milestones, we share just a few moments that we think captures the heart of our town, from townfolk just like you. This is Round Hill's 125th anniversary. From rails to trails, this place is special, and we're glad you are part of the family. Round Hill's official beginning happened on February 5th, 1900, when the town was officially incorporated. By then, we were on the map, with the Washington and Ohio Railroad serving the region, bringing new business and new neighbors.
I'm Gene Scheel, or Eugene Scheel, and I am a historian and a mapmaker. Woodgrove, which was the first settlement in the area, lost its prestige once the railroad train came to Round Hill in May of 1875, because there was really no reason to be outside of town. The train started the genesis of a Round Hill that was an economic entity and had a couple of stores and establishments that were needed.
Businesses of all kinds continued to emerge, from general merchandise, a blacksmith, and horses for hire, even a flour mill making mornings complete with biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, well, there were a couple of stores like that in Round Hill, because you've got to realize that people didn't travel. There was no way to get to Leesburg except for the stage wagon, and that was expensive.
This is George Tyler Ford, who arrived in Loudoun County from the Gate City area with the idea of becoming a merchant in town.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ford Crissa, and I am the great-granddaughter of George Tyler Ford, who was the first mayor of Round Hill. He had a wife and 3 children. Then there was my grandfather, Charles James Ford, and he had a wife and 4 sons. George came to Round Hill to open his store. It was a general merchandise store. He sold, if it was on the planet, he sold it. They tried to cater to the needs of the agrarian community they were living and working in. They also had a little catalog.
Yeah, this is a little catalog that Sherry Ford Crissa was talking about. It represented finished goods that you could buy at the Ford store. Everything that they couldn't make themselves. So that would include a nice finished hat, and you could buy it on credit. And this is the Ford store, I guess about 1930, with Sherry's grandfather and his helper. It's the very same clock.
Yes, through the turn of the century, Round Hill continued to grow. From the first school of the 1890s to Round Hill's own high school, time was moving. We even had our own bank, the Round Hill National Bank, with banknotes proclaiming our very existence. And if that wasn't enough, did you know that Round Hill actually had its own town jail? And the structure, now affixed to a home, is still there today. After years of simple acts from neighbors helping neighbors, it was New Year's Eve 1938, and while others had quietly gathered to celebrate, other neighbors in town had gathered next to Ford's store in the spirit of service. A small band of citizens began a never-ending watch over this community. Equipped with dedication and a 2-wheeled cart with hoses, they began, and the Round Hill Volunteer Fire Department was born. Founded by need and sustained in dedication, Over the last 87 years, Company 4 presses on. Everyday people serving as volunteers to bring hope and healing. Operational and support personnel doing their part for a 50 square mile service area. And today serving side by side in combination with Loudoun County's vocational heroes at the station, keeping us safe at a moment's notice. Round Hill wasn't always as quiet as it might seem today, and much of it had to do with the 50-year impact of a man named J.S. Patterson. From his building at number 1 Main on the corner, Dr. Pat's building housed his drugstore and so much more.
Come on in. Hi, I'm Joan Wolford, and I'm the current owner of 1 West Loudoun Street in Round Hill, and you might know it as Doc Patterson's Pharmacy. But I run Savoir Faire Catering out of it, and I've been here for almost 25 years now. And I love this building. We have taken care of the building, and some folks have given me some gifts over the years, and one great gift is this picture. And I can't tell you what year it's from, but I'm gonna guess it's in the 30s because of the cars and the dress of the folks. But this is Doc Patterson, and this is his daughter Dot, who lots of folks know used to live on, I think it was Church Street. And she passed away a couple of years ago, but she used to give me lots of kitchen tools. But she didn't want to come in here because she was sad that her dad was no longer here, even though she was in her 90s. But also I have acquired several of these ashtrays that folks were given back in the day when they came into the pharmacy, which I think is funny to give ashtrays at a pharmacy, but there you have it.
We're in the biggest room in the Patterson Pharmacy at this point, and this is the room where when folks come to visit, or they used to have dinner here when I had the restaurant, they would say, this is the room we had the ice cream sundae bar in, and all the treats that they used to get at the pharmacy. And it brought back a lot of nostalgia for a lot of folks. But I do believe that the windows and the doors and the ceilings are original, and we have tried to keep that all intact.
Yes, healthcare on the corner and an ice cream sundae right inside the window. But can you believe an upstairs movie hall for Saturday Westerns for the kiddos?
We met the school buses there, the post office was there. The older men would meet every evening at the Patterson building, would play checkers or chess or whatever. And every so often, maybe a weekend, a movie show would come through town, and we would use the Patterson building upstairs for the show. It's just a movie, a real movie.
Like, give me some. Hopalong Cassidy?
Tom Mix, all those, Hopalong Cassidy. He would have a soda bar at the store. He would take a pint of Hershey ice cream, a pint now, slice it into sections, and put the ice cream between 2 crackers and give it to the local kids.
In the town of Round Hill, the businesses which were important to me was the Throckmorton Groceries. Served the best meats, they cut the best meats, had the best cheese, the best sandwiches. Tammy's Diner is a great place in the community, and it holds the same standards as the Round Hill Diner did when I was a 10-year-old boy and went in there to eat. It was wonderful customer care. The food was relatively inexpensive then because of the times, but as today, Tammy's Diner brings on the same product and the same hometown feeling.
Speaking of Tammy's, local legend says that if you haven't tried to eat your way toward the locals table, well then you probably only like kale.
Persistence. Just persistent.
Words from Ann Whitehead Thomas on writing A Story of Round Hill all those years ago. It was no ordinary undertaking, and it took a decade of tedious work. Wanting to know the past, it became her future.
I was down at the library in Leesburg, and I was putting together, at that time, gathering material. And I expressed my need for help in assembling it, and a woman was standing nearby, and she piped up and said, "I will help you." So that's when I met Janet Mansos, who lived outside of Leesburg, and I became close friends.
Two strangers meeting in a moment became a lifetime of friendship.
It's nice to live in an area where you meet and know and enjoy living.
And if there's one lesson from this look back, and from Ann, it is get to know the people around you, get to know your neighbors, and embrace the awkward, because that's where your best friends are found.